Hey, welcome to American Reversion. I'm Steve Smith. Yesterday, I put up a video called A Vile and Disgusting Enemy, and it was about the communist agenda, how the communist agenda had been inserted and nourished and grown within many of our systems, our media, our education, our government, since the 1920s. And I read from a list of goals stated by the American Communist Party that was written back in the 50s. And it was about many of those. If you'd like to go see, just check the one from yesterday. Somebody asked that, they said that they'd be interested to hear all 45. Well, maybe I'll do one like that here in the near future. But I'm not going to do that today. I want to do something else. The book that it comes from, in case you're interested, and you might be, is The Naked Communist by W. Cleon Skousen, if you can see that. I recommend everybody get and read this book and understand it, along with Saul Alinsky's Rule for Radicals. If you want to know, if you can't understand how things have fallen apart like they have, how things have gotten to where they are in our country today, these books are going to explain it. It's exactly how it happens. It's exactly how they planned it. It's how they wanted to do it. And they have, to a great extent, succeeded. The reason they've succeeded is because they had a long-term goal and they stuck with it. The reason that we haven't been able to resist it, the reason that they've been able to put it in, is because we have not been as energetic in the defense of our American values as they have been in the promotion of their communist values. Just to give you an idea, on the front here, there's a quote by Ben Carson, and he says, "The Naked Communist," this book, "lays out the whole progressive plan. It is unbelievable how fast it has been achieved." That's true. Well, now, it has been achieved, I suppose, quickly in one sense. But like I say, it's been going on for a long time under the nose of most American people who had no idea that this was being promoted within our schools, within our government, our media. Naturally, everybody can see that. So I do suggest everybody get that book. Maybe I'll come back another time and read all 45 of the communist goals. Today I want to throw out an idea for combating this. Unless we want to go to an outright war, which I don't, and no sane person does, we have to fight this politically. Fighting something politically means that you fight it with money and influence. And influence also often comes from money. Money is the root, yes, of all sorts of evil, but it's the root of government, which many people would say is evil. It is the root of influence, of political influence. Those who want to spend their time arguing amongst their friends and family are doing a little more than making themselves feel good and as if they've done something. I'll use an example here because a lot of people will kind of get their nose out of joint over that one. Something happened here in our state of Kansas. I forget what it was. This has been some years ago. And I got a call from a brother-in-law. And he said he was upset about something or other. And like I said, I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. But he said, we have to do something about this. I don't believe that there are many people more politically involved than we are. Don't you agree? He asked me. And I said, seems like I'm not exactly that better. I don't know. I like this brother-in-law very much. Sharp guy, good guy, great guy. And I said, and I wanted to give him an honest answer. And I'm not one of those who will just go along with anything and say, yeah, that's right. So he asked me, he says, there's no family that's more politically involved than we are. Wouldn't you agree? And I said, well, I don't know. What do you do politically? I mean, do you belong to political clubs? Do you actively support political candidates? Do you campaign for them? Do you contribute to them, to their campaigns? And the answer was no, 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 and no. And see, now this guy's a great guy, and I'm not slamming him at all. What I'm saying is, people mistake complaining and arguing for political involvement. That's not political involvement, no matter how brilliant your arguments may be. Okay, you're not on the field. You're a fan. Okay, you're up in the stands talking about, what the quarterback ought to do, or complaining about the judgment of the officials. You're not on the field, and you're not part of the play. You're not part of the action. You're not contributing anything to what's going on. Okay, so that's an important distinction, I think, to understand. If all you're doing is complaining about things, yelling at the TV, talking to your wife, husband, kids, friends, whatever, across the room, and then at work the next day about how terrible things are, and can you believe this or that, and everybody nods, yeah, that's just terrible, you're accomplishing nothing. Now, I don't mean this to be a slam. Okay, I'm not trying to slam, because most of the people who are doing this are fine people. What I want to suggest, or what I want to explain, is that's not accomplishing anything. Preaching to the choir, that's an old saying for a reason. The choir's there every day. They're the ones who already agree with you. If you want to win something, you don't do it by winning over and over and over the same people. Okay, you've already got them. By doing that, you're ignoring, you're keeping yourself from doing more. That's the danger. The more that people complain, the more they think they're involved. Well, they're involved in their own head, but they're not involved in the real process. There's a way to do that, and the way is money. I'll be real honest. We have many people that will say that they're ready to go to war. They're ready to take up arms. But when you start talking about putting their money where their mouth is, well, that's just not going to work. No, that's an easy excuse. That's an excuse how to explain away their unwillingness to become actively involved in the political process. So whether or not you want to be a door knocker, knocking on doors and talking to people, or whether you want to do something else, there is something else that everybody can do, and that's with money. If you truly believe that our country is headed in the wrong direction, and I certainly do, I think most of you do too, and if you truly believe, or let me put it this way, not truly believe, and if you are willing to stand up and actually do something about it, then I suggest what I just thought of. I call it the 333 solution. Okay. Now, I started with this. How much money do you just, waste every day? Every day. You go to Starbucks every day, there's $4 or $5 right there. I know so many people that go to Starbucks every day. I know so many people buying that extra bag of chips, buying that extra soft drink, buying that, this and that, wasting money. And I'll tell you what, that is wasted money. Half the stuff they buy is bad for them. It's bad for their health. It's bad for their waistline. And they do better by doing without it. If you took, and I started with, I forget what I started off with, if you save $2.75 a day, at the end of the year, that's about $1,000. But to round it up, to make it just a little bit easier to remember, if you stopped spending, if you found something in your daily life and you stopped spending $3.33 every day for a year, that would be over $1,200. Now, what do you do with the $1,200? You send it to a political candidate, or you give it. Better yet, you hand it over in person. You start knowing who's running for some of these positions in your area, whether it's a state representative, a U.S. representative from your district in your state, whether it's a school board, whether it's a mayor, a city council, whatever. These people run on campaign money, okay? Campaign donations. That comes from people. Not only that, but they listen to people who contribute to their campaigns. You know, if you see your representative in the store and, you know, in the produce aisle, and you say, hey, I didn't like that bill that you voted on, they're going to go, well, I'm sorry, they're going to blow you off. They're experts at blowing you off. And they're going to give you some song and dance explaining how much they appreciate your input and they really care and they think about it and all of that. And then by the time, you know, you're in the next aisle, they've forgotten all about you. If, however, you are going to these periodic meetings that they have as they're in their district, and you go up to them and you get to be known as somebody who contributes not just money, but perhaps time, and you say, I don't like that. That's hurting us. That's wrong. And you go through exactly what they're doing wrong. And if they don't change their tune, I'm thinking about one we have here in our district right now, you're going to be giving this money to their opponent. Okay? This is what you can do now. And it's something that everybody can do. It's also something that most people are going to be unwilling to do. You know what? Because most people will sit around and whine and complain, and they love that because most people would rather be a victim than someone actually a participant in the fight. But they don't want to have to let go of that money. They don't want to have to let go of that money. That money is what is crucial to changing things in our country. If you're not willing to contribute money to campaigns, you're not willing to fight. You just want to complain. Okay? Now, do you just want to give it to the people in your district? You don't have to, you know. You can send it to other people. Say you have somebody, you're in a district that is just as strong as can be. You have a representative who is just as strong as can be with what you believe in. Are there other people around the country? Are there other people that are running against people with whom you disagree in other states? You know, you can send money to them, and you ought to. If everybody who is upset at what's going on in our country would actually do this, $3.33 a day, and that's $1,200 you could be giving to somebody or several people. You could split it up to help them with their printing costs, to help them with their signs, to help them with whatever. It helps them. You can help knock out some of these people that you scream at on the TV every night. And the question is, who's willing to do it? Most people are not willing to do it. That's what's sad. The other side has some great donors. They have people pumping millions of dollars, billions of dollars into campaigns. In addition to that, they have tax money. They have our tax money, which then these people with whom we disagree on the most basic, fundamental principles can use to run their campaigns. People on our side need the money. I'm not up here promoting any individual person. What I'm saying is political campaigns run on money. They need money. It's up to the people who want to change things to provide that money. It's always been like that. This is nothing new. And plenty of people do it. Those who aren't willing to do that really haven't earned the right to complain. Now, some people out there will say, "Well, I can't afford that. I'm living on a fixed income. I don't have extra money to spare." Well, first off, most people like that, I'll guarantee you, I can find extra money that they're wasting. Okay? If you were one of the very few that's not wasting a single nickel, then I'm not talking to you. But most people I am talking to, because most people out there are wasting big chunks of money. They're also not getting out there and being supportive of these candidates when they need them. Okay? That's what needs to be done. Send it out to your friend. Tell people. Most people won't do it. I'm saying this understanding that the vast majority of people won't do this. And that's why things will continue to go along the way they're going along. But let me ask you this. The next time that off your elections come up and you go to a meeting put on by your local political committee, and you go and you want to say something and make a point to that representative, and you can write a check to them for $1,200 or whatever the law allows, okay, for that particular thing, and you can write a check to them and say, here, this indicates how much I care about this or these issues. I know your voting record. If it's good, you can say, and I want you to keep going at it. Go at it hard. Okay. If you don't like it so much, you say, I'm giving you this, but I saw there was a weakness in one of your positions. And I don't want to see that. I want you to be stronger on that next time, or I'll be giving this $1,200, or by the next time around, it'll be $2,400. I will be giving this to the person who primaries you or runs against you, or anybody who agrees with me more than you do. And if you don't need to do that, find somebody out there in another district, and you know who they are, that has somebody running against them, and send it to where it's going to do the most good. Now, people are all the time asking, what can we do? What can we do? This is what you can do. It's no more complicated than this. Okay? Most won't do it. But you know what? They'll keep asking, what can we do? And because they won't do it, they'll change the what can we do to, we can't do anything. And they can't do anything because they won't do anything. So if you really want to have an effect, if you want to increase your influence, this is the way to do it. Because sad to say, but the reality is it's about money and where you spend it. Does somebody who is perhaps going to make a difference in the turnaround of this country, is it better to invest it in their campaign, or do you need another big order of fries? Think about that, because that's the realities. So that's where we are. See what you can do. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think. I'll be really interested to hear the comments on this. And anyway, you all have a great day. Remember, America needs a reversion. It needs you to be a part of it. But if we don't get a reversion, it's going to go to a next step, and then everybody's going to be a part of it, like it or not. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.